Hello. Alright. Not been here for a while, have I? Been off for a couple of weeks. Not had much to tell you folks really, other than the fact that I have been brewing. I've not recorded any, I just fancied some time off of videoing while doing brewing, and you'd be surprised you get it done a lot quicker when you're not trying to record it for Homebrew Wednesday video. So I've done two brews. One is the Badger Golden Glory clone, something like that, Badger's Golden Glory. That's with the hint of peach in. Now it's very close, it's almost there folks, but it needs a little bit more peachiness in it. I didn't put enough peach in, I just, you know, I was just testing the waters, and it needs a little bit more peach in there. Other than that though, it's a lovely beer. It's turned out alright, so I'm very happy with that one, and I'm just going to leave it about 3 or 4 weeks or so before I go back to it and we'll do a review of it. And I may even do a side by side, because that's a very nice beer, that Badger beer. I've also just bottled yesterday the Surfer's Reward Cornish Ale. It's a kit that my sister bought me for my birthday this year. That tastes alright. Both of those beers I've done. No off flavours at all at the bottling stage, which is good, because usually at the bottling stage, if you can smell that it's not quite right, then it's not going to improve, and you know, you're more or less going to get a decent enough drinkable beer anyway. So yeah, it tastes all right. It tastes hoppy, and it's clean and crisp, and it looks very good, and it's very clear too. So I'll be doing a review of that in due course. So there's two beers to look out for there. I've also in my shed I've got another beer, Lakey Bloke's Pale Ale of Doom, I've called it. It's not a Doom bar clone, I've just called it Lakey Bloke's Pale Ale of Doom because there's something to do with it. I couldn't think of another name. The worst thing is when you're doing beers, you just can't think of names for it. So that one's in there, in the shed, and that one's very nice. I was drinking some of those during the broadcast over the weekend and the previous week. And yeah, it's a very nice beer too. So all the beers I've been making recently have been more or less hits, folks. None of them have been off. I haven't had any off flavours at all from them, which is odd given the St. Peter's Golden Ale beer, the second attempt at it, came out exactly the same as the first. So I'm thinking it's that kit. There's something wrong with that kit that I don't like. My palate does not, it doesn't want to know, it doesn't mix with it, just not interested. But I'm going to leave it in the shed, and I will go back to it in 2 or 3 months. I'm just going to leave it for as long as I can until I decide I'm either going to drink it or I'm going to chuck it. Chances are I'm going to end up chucking it. But this is where I put my glasses on, folks, because I've got a beer here to review. And here we go, look, it's Shepherd Neame Premium Late Red Autumn Splendour Ale at 4.5%. And I bought this from Tesco, so Tesco's have got a very good range of beer on at the moment actually. Pretty much all of their beers are in 4 for 6 quid. This is one of them. Shepherd Neame uses the finest blend of Kent hops and barley to produce this rich red autumn ale. Enjoy a late red on long balmy evenings before the onset of winter. Not really winter, but hey, it's alright. This handsome autumn ale mingles nourishing crystal malts with enchanted hop garden scents. The pungent freshness of East Kent Goldings meets the exotic grapefruit and floral hints of Cascade. Now I know this is going to be a nice beer because I've done a beer myself with Cascade and East Kent Goldings, and I can confirm those two hops go together really well. And I've done single hop beers with both of those too. So I do like those hops very much. So we're looking for an autumn kind of autumny, end of autumn, winter feel. With the colour, we're looking for a sort of copper colour, berries and fruit, and fruity, spicy, refreshing on the taste. So this is a pretty good bottle. This tells you exactly what's in it. This has got East Kent Goldings in, and my favourite, Cascade. And the lid a lovely little shepherd neem lid there since 1698. They've been brewing beer. So cheers to you folks. God bless you and all who sail in you. There we go. Looks like a nice beer this. I'm being a little bit aggressive on the pour because I want a bit of a head on it. I like a good head on a beer. So that doesn't look too bad, does it? So yeah, copper colour there, fairly, and a decent headage. And what am I getting on the smell? Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of the East Kent Goldings there. But I'm going to leave that for a second just to settle, and we'll go back and we'll give it a sip in a second. Now, what else has been going in the couple of weeks I've not been on here? Not very much really. Still trying to sell the house. No one wants to buy it for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with it. I think I've got a lovely house. You join me in my conservatory. As you can see, it's a pretty decent conservatory. It's rather nice out here, especially in the summer. And yeah, it's a very strange thing. The kind of excuses you get for people not buying your houses. You know, the garden's too small, the back garden's overlooked. There's no downstairs toilet. You know, the third bedroom is too small, and all these things are on the bloody, you know, bit of paper that they get when they're looking at the house. So it's just excuses really not to buy it. And I think a lot of the people that come round are time wasters anyway. They've got no intention of buying. They're just having a little look, having a little nose around to see if they want to sell their house and what's available for the price that they can get for theirs. So you do get a lot of time wasters, and we're getting at that point now where we're getting a bit sick of it, because every time they show people round we have to go out and the estate agents show people round. We've shown a few people round ourselves, but it's a bit weird showing people round your house, you know, because you do take it very personally. And this is, you know, we've lived here for 10 or 12 years now, and we love the house. We've always loved it, and we've done a lot to it. We've bought a new kitchen in, we've bought the conservatory in, and we've had loads of work done to it, and no offers. So we have had 2 offers, but that's been for a previous estate agent. And without going into too much detail, the new estate agent wants some money and the old estate agent wants money, and between the two of them they won't agree on who takes the bulk of the money and whether they're going to share it or not. So we've said bollocks here. You know, we're not going to play that game. I don't want to be playing 2 estate agents off. It's bad enough I have to pay 1. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, neither one is prepared to you know, take a hit. So yeah, it's a bit fiddly and a bit of a pain in the arse. Anyway, you don't want to know about all that. You want to know about this, don't you? Oh yeah, that's lovely. I'll tell you what, it's a nice malty hit on that, and I'm tasting more of the East Kent Goldings than I am the Cascade, in all honesty. The Cascade seems to be sort of at the back. It's quite dry. Yeah, the East Kent Goldings, good hop. Yeah, getting sort of, you know, like summer berries, that kind of thing. Very pleasant, folks. Yeah, so if you can find this in Tesco's in the 4 for £6. Sounds about right, doesn't it? Anyway, whatever Tesco sale is they've got on at the moment on all their beers, try it out because you can pick up some great beers there. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, I was talking about the house stuff. Well, I went up in the attic today because the wife has been on at me to go and clean up the attic, and I'm sure you're the same. If you've got any rubbish lying around, it goes in the attic, doesn't it, and you forget about it. I used to put a load of stuff in the shed, but I moved all that out and put it in the attic so I could put all my beer in there, you see. So I went up into the attic today. You know, I gave in after months of her moaning at me and saying, oh, it's about time we cleared the attic out, you know, because when we move, we're going to have to do a lot of sorting out. So I said, look, no one's buying a house yet, so it's pointless. Anyway, I gave in, and I went up there today, and I found like 5 hard disks from a PC, about 4 DVD drives from a PC, I mean, loads of components from PCs that I've just chucked really because I've not used them, and I've obviously chucked them upstairs for a reason. Either they're broke or I've taken them out of old PCs. They're probably not worth very much. But what I did find rather, is 2 cigars. Yeah, I found 2 cigars, 2 proper cigars, you know, like Havana type, but they're not Havana cigars, they're like Havana cigars, you know, they're sort of cheap, you know, cheap end of the expensive cigar range. Let's put it this way, they're not Hamlet, you know what I mean? And it reminded me of when me and my mate Bob, Charlie, all right mate, when I used to be working at Lloyd's Bank in London, we used to go out to lunch every day to the local bar or you know, to the local restaurant or whatever, you know, sandwich shop or whatever, and any change that we had left over we put in our pockets, and over a period of say 3 months or so we'd count all the change and we'd take a day off or an afternoon off work, and then we'd just go out on the piss and spend all that money that we'd saved up from our afternoons going out. And we used to go to a pub in where was it called? It was Holborn Viaduct, and there's a haunted pub, allegedly haunted pub at Holborn, the Viaduct's Tavern it is, and it used to be a really decent pub, but however I believe it's changed hands about 3 times since the last time I've been there. And underneath the Viaduct Tavern they've got all the old debtors' cells where they used to throw people underneath the ground and that. And they used to be able to take you on tours under there, and me and my mate went for a tour underneath, and all these cells where they used to throw people that owed money and stuff years and years ago. And it's quite spooky down there, and it really is interesting. But I don't think they let you do it anymore. However, what we used to do, there's a pub along the road, and I can't remember the name of it now, but they sell cigars, and they still sell cigars now, I believe. And it's along Viaduct Tavern, so it's just down the road a little bit from the Viaduct Tavern. They do cigars, and I found a couple of these cigars, folks, in the attic. And usually I have a little puff on my birthday. This year I didn't, because I didn't have a cigar lying around, and also I didn't have the usual yearly barbecue this year because we couldn't afford to do it really. And I usually have a cigar for that, and I forgot I had them, so I found them. And so later on today I'm going to sit out in the garden, or maybe wait until the weather's a little bit better, sit out in the garden and have a puff on the old cigar and think about the good old days when I used to be earning good money, and I used to be going out and about in London with my mates and having a good old time. Alas, no more, folks, alas, no more. Never mind. So cheers to you, folks. This is what we're doing. You know, we're drinking homebrew now, and we're also drinking cheap beer from Tesco's. Now, before I go, I wanted to mention, talking about drinking cheap beer, where I live in Upminster in Essex, there is a new microbrewery opening, and it's called the Tap Room, and they got permission to open, and then the local government kiboshed it, so they've applied for temporary sort of residence thing, which means that they can open for 23 days between now and August while they you know, do the appeal, because you know they want to open, and I believe personally that they're going to offer a really good service that, you know, we need in Upminster. We need a microbrewery in Upminster, folks. And they open on Friday, so I'm going to pop down there on Friday, and I'm going to check out some of their ales, and it'll be great, I'm sure. I'm just going to pop in there and have a couple, you know, show my support for the microbreweries, because I think that's what we should do. We're going to have some decent ales there, hopefully. I probably won't be able to take any footage though, because they won't allow you to use your phone in there, and they don't have any music. It's just, the room, I believe, is going to be no bigger than my conservatory here. And they're just going to be serving ales and chatting and stuff, and I'm sure it'll be great, because I'll get to meet some like-minded individuals and have a chat over an ale or two. So I'm really looking forward to that. So show your support, folks, to your local microbrewery, yeah, and show your support for this one too. I'll stick the link down below so you can have a little visit and have a little look yourself. Because I believe it should be open and it should be given a license, because it's not going to be causing any trouble. It's a very tiny location. It's just going to be visited by middle-aged blokes like me that want a decent beer. It's not going to be visited by, you know, people in their 20s that are out to cause trouble. You know, it's ridiculous, and it should be open. So yeah, I'm going to go and support it. So cheers for now, folks. Sorry I haven't got any more sort of homebrew related information for you, or tales or anything, but that's the way we roll, you know. Sometimes there isn't very much to say, sometimes there is. I'm probably going to be doing another brew soon. I might do a Brewer's Gold clone. Now there's a brewery in Crouch Vale in Essex that do this beer called Brewer's Gold, and I had some during a broadcast a couple of weeks ago. Again, I bought it in the Tesco sale, I think, and it was fantastic beer, really nice beer. So I got myself some Brewer's Gold hops, and I'm going to have an attempt at a Brewer's Gold clone. I don't think it's going to be 100% exactly like the Crouch Vale Brewer's Gold, but it's going to have the same hops in, single hop ale. Hopefully it will be all right and it will turn out rather nice. So cheers for now. And as I haven't been recording for quite a while, I probably will record that one. It's going to be a bog standard video though. Again, I'm sorry, but I'm using up my extract that I've got left over, so it's not going to be an all grain. But hopefully I'll be doing an all grain at some point in the near future. So look forward to that. So cheers for now, folks, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da!